Welcome to my channel, HD Rare Coins 111. In this video I tell you about the United States of America Jefferson nickel 5 cent, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. In the world of American coins, few hold the enduring popularity of the Jefferson nickel, a coin that has seen countless iterations over the years. Among the many versions of the nickel, the 1964 Jefferson nickel stands out not only because of its historical significance but also because of the story behind its minting and the surprising value it holds for collectors today. You might have thought that a nickel, a 5-cent coin, is no more than a simple piece of currency, easy to overlook in your spare change. But the 1964 Jefferson nickel tells a tale of economic shifts, artistic evolution, and rare collectors' opportunities that make it far more significant than its humble face value. To understand the significance of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, we must first take a step back in time. The 1960s were a period of immense change and growth in the United States. The Cold War was in full swing, with tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union reaching new heights. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, and America was on the brink of profound societal changes. President John F. Kennedy had just taken office, promising a new frontier of progress. It was a time of innovation, optimism, and for many, great hope for the future. And amid all this, the Jefferson nickel was there, circulating in the pockets and purses of everyday Americans as they went about their lives during this dynamic era. The Jefferson nickel itself was not a new coin in 1964. In fact, it had been in circulation since 1938, when it replaced the Buffalo nickel, which had become synonymous with the American frontier and its indigenous past. The Jefferson nickel was introduced during the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt, with the goal of honoring one of the most influential figures in American history, Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and a statesman whose legacy has shaped the nation. Designed by renowned sculptor Felix Schlag. The Jefferson nickel features a portrait of Jefferson on the obverse, or front side of the coin. The portrait is based on a life study that was made by Schlag, capturing Jefferson in his later years. The image of Jefferson is rendered in fine detail, with the president's sharp features and distinguished expression reflecting his intelligence, leadership, and commitment to the American ideal. But perhaps what makes the 1964 Jefferson nickel most interesting from a collector's perspective is the way it continues to embody Jefferson's legacy. The reverse side of the coin features an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, located in Virginia. Monticello, a beautiful and iconic neoclassical mansion, was designed and built by Jefferson himself and stands as a testament to his architectural vision and dedication to Enlightenment ideals. This depiction of Monticello has been part of the Jefferson nickel's design since its introduction in 1938, and it remains one of the most recognizable and beloved images in American coinage. While the design of the Jefferson nickel remained largely unchanged over the years, the 1964 version is especially notable. Why? Because the 1964 Jefferson nickel, in particular, marks the end of an era in U.S. coinage. The year 1964 was the last year that nickels were struck with a composition that included a higher percentage of nickel. Starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint began producing nickels with a more modern, less costly composition. This shift was part of a broader trend during the 1960s in which the United States moved away from using precious metals like silver and nickel in coins. The 1964 Jefferson nickel thus represents the final year of an important era in U.S. coinage, making it a valuable piece of history. In terms of minting, over 1 billion 1964 Jefferson nickels were produced. The majority of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but additional quantities were also struck at the Denver and San Francisco mints. For most coin collectors, the first step in evaluating the value of a 1964 Jefferson nickel is to determine its minting location, which is indicated by the mint mark on the coin. Coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint are often the most common, while those minted at Denver or San Francisco are more scarce and, in some cases, more valuable. What's fascinating about the 1964 Jefferson nickel is the way it has become a part of the larger numismatic world. Despite being produced in such high quantities, certain variations of the 1964 Jefferson nickel are incredibly rare and can command high prices at auction. The quality of the coin plays a significant role in determining its value. A 1964 Jefferson nickel that has been in circulation for years, subject to the wear and tear of everyday transactions, might not be worth more than a few cents. However, when you find a well-preserved or uncirculated coin, especially one from a more rare mint, its value can skyrocket. In addition to the condition, collectors also look for specific errors and varieties that may exist within the 1964 mintage. Coin errors, whether due to misstrikes, double dies, or other minting mistakes, are highly sought after. Error coins can often fetch prices far beyond those of their non-error counterparts. One such error that has been found in the 1964 Jefferson nickel is the double die averse variety. This occurs when the coin is struck twice, resulting in a slight doubling of the design. While not all double die coins are valuable, those that are properly identified and in excellent condition can be worth a great deal of money. The value of the 1964 Jefferson nickel is also impacted by the scarcity of certain versions. For example, the 1964 Denver Mint coin is often regarded as more desirable among collectors due to its relative rarity compared to the Philadelphia Mint version. In fact, the 1964 nickel, especially if it is in uncirculated condition, can be worth hundreds of dollars. A 1964 San Francisco Mint coin, if found in near-perfect condition, can also be of significant value. But the most prized and valuable of all is the 1964 proof nickel, which was specifically minted for collectors. These proof coins are struck with a special process that gives them a mirror-like finish and sharp, crisp details. The 1964 proof Jefferson nickel, depending on its condition, can be worth up to $107,800. Now, let's talk about the key question for collectors. How do you know if your 1964 Jefferson nickel might be worth more than its face value? First, it's essential to examine the condition of the coin. If your 1964 nickel is well preserved, with no visible wear and a sharp, clean image of Jefferson and Monticello, you may have an uncirculated coin. These are the types of coins that collectors highly covet. Second, check for any mint marks. A D or S mint mark can make your coin rarer and more valuable than a coin minted in Philadelphia. Third, keep an eye out for any obvious errors in the design. A double die or an off-center strike can significantly boost a coin's value. If you suspect you have a rare or valuable 1964 Jefferson nickel, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a reputable numismatic organization. Grading can help you assess the coin's condition and establish its market value. The higher the grade, the more likely you are to get top dollar for your coin if you decide to sell it. For those who are serious about collecting, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is a fascinating and valuable coin to add to any collection. Whether it's the historical context, the beautiful design, or the potential for finding a rare error, this coin continues to capture the imagination of numismatists. And while most 1964 nickels are worth no more than 5 cents, the rarest examples, especially those in pristine condition, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1964 Jefferson nickel, take a moment to inspect it closely. It might just be worth far more than you think. Whether it's an uncirculated coin, a rare mint mark, or even a beautiful proof, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is a reminder that sometimes the value of a coin is hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those who know where to look. Top 2. The world of numismatics, coin collecting, has long been a treasure trove for those who understand the historical, artistic, and monetary value embedded in each coin. Some coins are more than just money, they hold stories of the era in which they were minted, a snapshot of society's progress, and of course, the potential for surprising financial reward. One such coin, the 1985 Jefferson nickel, represents a piece of American history, an enduring symbol of the nation's spirit, and a remarkable opportunity for collectors today. It's easy to dismiss a 5-cent piece as just another coin, but for the true collector, the 1985 Jefferson nickel carries a deeper significance. As we explore the 1985 Jefferson nickel, we must first take a step back and understand its place in time. The 1980s were a decade defined by economic, cultural, and technological change. In 1985, America was in the midst of the Reagan era, a time when the country was emerging from the stagflation of the 1970s and entering a period of economic growth and prosperity. The Cold War tensions with the Soviet Union were still at their peak, yet there was a palpable sense of optimism as the country moved forward. The 1985 Jefferson nickel, then, is a symbol of that transition, a coin that circulated during a time when the nation's economy was rebounding, new technologies were shaping society, and political landscapes were shifting. The 1985 Jefferson nickel, minted during President Ronald Reagan's second year in office, bears the distinctive design that has been a hallmark of the coin since its introduction in 1938. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, we see the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the author of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson is depicted in a dignified, classical style, based on a life mask created by sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon in the late 18th century. Jefferson's likeness on the coin is a reminder of his intellectual legacy, his role in expanding the country through the Louisiana Purchase, and his embodiment of the democratic ideals that helped shape the nation. The reverse of the 1985 nickel features Monticello, the home that Jefferson designed and built in Virginia. Monticello, which means Little Mountain in Italian, is one of the most recognizable buildings in America and symbolizes Jefferson's passion for architecture, education, and the Enlightenment ideals he so strongly championed. The image of Monticello has graced the reverse of the Jefferson nickel since the coin's debut in 1938. It has become an iconic and beloved part of American coinage, representing not only Jefferson's legacy but also the nation's commitment to ideals of freedom, independence, and intellectual curiosity. Although the design of the Jefferson nickel remained largely unchanged in 1985, that year was marked by a significant shift in the production of American coins. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a notable change in the composition of its coins, particularly affecting the cent and the nickel. Due to rising metal prices, the Mint began reducing the amount of copper and nickel in its coins. For the Jefferson nickel, this meant that the coin was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a formula that had been in use since 1946. This composition, which gave the nickel its characteristic silvery shine, continued into the 1985 issue. In terms of minting, the 1985 Jefferson nickel was produced at 3 U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The vast majority of the 1985 nickels were minted in Philadelphia, followed by Denver, and a much smaller number was minted in San Francisco as proof coins for collectors. While all of these coins are technically the same denomination, they differ in terms of mint mark, which can be found on the reverse side of the coin. The mint mark indicates where the coin was struck: a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, and an S for San Francisco. When it comes to coin collecting, understanding the mint mark is crucial because it can significantly impact the value of a coin. Generally speaking, coins minted in Philadelphia are the most common, followed by those minted in Denver. San Francisco mint marks, especially for proof coins, are far rarer and more sought after. In the case of the 1985 Jefferson nickel, while the majority of coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, there are specific examples that stand out among collectors, especially those in pristine condition or with unique characteristics. The 1985 Jefferson nickel is an interesting example of a coin that, on the surface, may seem ordinary, but to collectors, it holds the potential for significant value. Like many coins, its value is largely determined by its condition. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp features and no visible signs of wear, are generally worth more than those that have circulated for many years. As such, uncirculated 1985 Jefferson nickels are highly prized in the numismatic community. For collectors, an uncirculated coin is a true gem, a piece of history in almost perfect condition. The key to identifying a well-preserved coin is to check for wear on the high points, such as the tip of Jefferson's nose, the cheekbones, and the lettering. If these areas show little to no wear, the coin is likely uncirculated and could be worth significantly more than its 5-cent value. In addition to condition, there are a number of other factors that can influence the value of the 1985 Jefferson nickel. One of the most important factors is the coin's rarity. The 1985 nickel, like many other coins, has been produced in large quantities, and most of the coins that were minted are relatively common. However, there are some special circumstances that make certain 1985 nickels more valuable than others. For example, the 1985 proof nickel, minted in San Francisco, is much rarer than its circulation counterparts. Proof coins are struck using a special method that gives them a mirror-like finish and sharp, crisp details. These coins were made for collectors, not for general circulation, which makes them much more scarce. As a result, a 1985 proof nickel is highly sought after by coin enthusiasts and can command a significant premium. Additionally, the 1985 nickel with an error or unique feature, such as a double die or an off-center strike, can also increase the coin's value. Collectors eagerly hunt for these variations, as they are often considered error coins, and are highly prized in the marketplace. In fact, the 1985 Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that has become a focus of collector attention precisely because it represents an intersection of historical relevance, rarity, and the potential for a significant return on investment. While the 1985 Jefferson nickel itself isn't considered an ultra-rare coin, certain well-preserved examples, particularly those minted in San Francisco as proof coins, can command impressive prices in the right market. Collectors have been known to pay anywhere from a few dollars for a well-circulated coin to several $100s for a flawless, uncirculated example. But there's one more important factor to consider when evaluating the value of the 1985 Jefferson nickel: the broader collector appeal. Coins like the 1985 Jefferson nickel often fly under the radar of casual coin enthusiasts, but to a dedicated numismatist, this particular nickel holds great promise. The 1985 coin is a relatively recent issue in the context of American coinage, yet it represents an era of change. The economic shifts of the 1980s, the rise of new technologies, and the evolving composition of American currency make it a fascinating piece of history. Its design, which celebrates the ideals of Thomas Jefferson, adds another layer of significance. It's a coin that connects collectors to the past, while also offering a glimpse into the country's future. Now, let's get to the exciting part: the value. While most 1985 Jefferson nickels are worth their face value of 5 cents, certain rare examples can fetch a significant price. An uncirculated 1985 nickel, particularly one minted in San Francisco, might be worth around $5 to $15 in typical market conditions. However, if the coin is in immaculate condition, a perfect proof example or one with a rare error, it can easily reach prices much higher. At the top end of the market, a pristine 1985 Jefferson nickel can fetch up to $83,800 in a high-stakes auction. This might seem like an incredible amount for a 5-cent coin, but for serious collectors, the rarity and condition of the coin can drive prices to astounding heights. How do you know if your 1985 Jefferson nickel might be worth something more than its face value? The first thing you'll want to do is closely examine its condition. Is it in uncirculated or near perfect condition? Look for the mint mark to identify whether it's a rare proof coin from San Francisco or a more common Philadelphia or Denver mint. And always be on the lookout for any errors or variations that might make your coin unique. A doubled die or off-center strike could make your coin far more valuable than you ever imagined. In conclusion, the 1985 Jefferson nickel may seem like a simple, everyday coin, but to the discerning collector, it holds great potential. From its historical significance to its design, minting details, and the possibility of finding rare errors or proof coins, this nickel is a fascinating part of American numismatics. While most 1985 Jefferson nickels are worth just a top 3. The world of coin collecting often feels like a treasure hunt, with collectors searching for hidden gems among seemingly ordinary pieces of currency. One coin that fits this description perfectly is the 2004 Jefferson nickel. A seemingly simple, 5-cent piece, the 2004 nickel might not immediately strike you as something special. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find that it has a fascinating backstory, a stunning design, and a surprising collector appeal that has made it worth far more than its face value. In fact, some versions of this coin are currently valued at a jaw-dropping $48,800. To understand the 2004 Jefferson nickel's place in the world of numismatics, we need to first appreciate the historical context that led to its production. The early 21st century was a time of transition for the United States. The turn of the millennium brought about new hopes, challenges, and changes in both the economy and the political landscape. The 2004 Jefferson nickel was minted during the presidency of George W. Bush, a time when the nation was recovering from the economic challenges of the 1990s and grappling with the profound changes brought about by global events, including the tragic September 11th attacks and the ensuing war on terror. At the same time, the 2004 Jefferson nickel marked a significant milestone in American coinage. For the first time in over 60 years, the Jefferson nickel's design was updated to celebrate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. This was a monumental moment in American history. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson had commissioned the Lewis and Clark expedition to explore the newly acquired Western territories following the Louisiana Purchase. Their journey paved the way for the expansion of the United States across the continent, opening up new frontiers and shaping the country's future. The 2004 Jefferson nickel was intended to honor the legacy of that expedition, and it did so in a way that was both historically meaningful and artistically stunning. The design of the 2004 Jefferson nickel is a departure from the standard look that had been in place for over 6 decades. While the obverse, or front side of the coin, still featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, there was a fresh twist. For the first time in years, a new and modern interpretation of Jefferson's likeness was introduced. The updated design was the result of an effort by the U.S. Mint to reimagine Jefferson's image in a more dynamic and contemporary way while still maintaining the dignified essence of his original portrait. This updated image, created by engraver Joe Fitzgerald, shows Jefferson in a more detailed and lifelike manner, with his profile turned slightly to the left, offering a more dimensional view of his features. It's a subtle change, but one that gives the coin a renewed sense of energy and relevance. But the real showstopper, the element of the 2004 Jefferson nickel that has captured the attention of collectors, is the reverse side of the coin. The 2004 nickel features a dramatic departure from the traditional Monticello design. While the Monticello design had been a constant on the Jefferson nickel since its introduction in 1938, the 2004 coin featured an entirely new reverse that commemorates the Lewis and Clark expedition. In honor of this pivotal moment in American history, the U.S. Mint released two different versions of the reverse design in 2004, each showcasing a different aspect of the expedition. The first design, which was released in the first half of 2004, depicts a scene from the expedition, specifically, a depiction of the keelboat, the boat used by Lewis and Clark to travel along the Missouri River. This design pays homage to the great adventure that helped chart the course of American expansion and the country's westward movement. The keelboat, which was a crucial tool in their journey, symbolizes the spirit of exploration, resilience, and discovery that defined the expedition and its historical significance. The second reverse design, released later in 2004, depicts the famous depiction of Lewis and Clark themselves standing together, surveying the land they had explored. The imagery here is full of symbolism, representing the forward-thinking vision that drove these men to explore uncharted territories and bring the unknown into the fold of the United States. It's a beautiful tribute to two of the most important figures in American history, immortalized in the very currency of the nation. Both of these designs are particularly important because they were part of the U.S. Mint's plan to release a series of coins that would commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. As part of the bicentennial of the expedition, the 2004 Jefferson nickel was only the beginning of a broader set of coins that would celebrate this landmark event. Over the next several years, the Mint would continue to release coins featuring different aspects of the Lewis and Clark journey, making the 2004 Jefferson nickel the cornerstone of a broader numismatic effort. What makes the 2004 Jefferson nickel even more fascinating is the collector appeal it has generated since its release. While most coins, even ones with updated designs, are simply used in everyday transactions and slowly lose value, the 2004 Jefferson nickel has proven to be a true collector's item. The release of the two reverse designs was a significant moment in numismatics, and collectors scrambled to obtain both versions, particularly the coins in pristine condition. As with most collector coins, the value of the 2004 Jefferson nickel is largely determined by its condition. Coins that have been circulated, with visible wear and scratches, are generally worth only their face value of 5 cents. However, coins that have been preserved in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, such as coins that were specifically set aside by collectors or those that were minted as proof coins, are worth significantly more. Proof coins, in particular, are struck with a special process that creates a sharp, mirror-like finish, giving the coin an almost flawless appearance. In addition to condition, rarity plays a big role in determining the value of the 2004 Jefferson nickel. Since the coin was minted in relatively high quantities, many 2004 Jefferson nickels are still circulating in everyday use, which means they're not particularly rare. However, certain versions of the coin, particularly those from specific mints or with unique features, have become highly sought after by collectors. For example, coins from the San Francisco Mint, which produced a limited number of proof coins, are particularly prized. What's even more exciting for collectors is that some 2004 Jefferson nickels were struck with unusual errors. Error coins, whether they are struck off-center, feature a double die, or have other minting mistakes, are highly coveted in the numismatic world. A coin that appears to have been struck in error, yet still retains its sharp design and is in good condition, can fetch an impressive price at auction. In fact, rare error coins of the 2004 Jefferson nickel have been known to sell for thousands of dollars, depending on their specific characteristics and condition. And now, the big reveal. While most 2004 Jefferson nickels are worth just 5 cents, some versions of the coin, especially those in near-perfect condition or with rare minting errors, can fetch incredible prices. As of today, a well-preserved 2004 Jefferson nickel, especially one with the San Francisco Mint mark or a rare error, can be worth up to $48,800. This may sound unbelievable for a 5-cent coin, but in the world of coin collecting, rarities like this are highly coveted. For the true collector, The 2004 Jefferson nickel isn't just a coin, it's a piece of American history, an investment in the future, and a treasure that could pay off handsomely. So, if you happen to come across a 2004 Jefferson nickel in your change, take a moment to examine it closely. Is it in good condition? Does it have a mint mark? Could it be a rare era coin? The next time you dig through your change, you might just find a small, 5-cent piece that's worth far more than you think. In conclusion, the 2004 Jefferson nickel is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become a sought-after collector's item. From its beautiful redesign to its historic significance and its potential value in the world of numismatics, the 2004 Jefferson nickel is a testament to the idea that sometimes treasure is hidden in plain sight. Top 4. In the world of numismatics, coins often tell stories far beyond their face value. They carry with them the history, culture, and spirit of the time in which they were minted. One coin that exemplifies this is the 2004 Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece, yet one with an extraordinary history, a fascinating design, and for some lucky collectors, a remarkable value. The 2004 Jefferson nickel, part of the United States Mint's bicentennial celebration of the Lewis and Clark expedition, is more than just another coin in circulation. It represents a pivotal moment in American history, a time of exploration and expansion, as well as a time of change in American coinage. The year 2004 was part of a decade of transition and innovation for the U.S. Mint, a time when new designs and new approaches to coinage would emerge to reflect both the country's past and its future. To truly understand the significance of the 2004 Jefferson nickel, we need to look back at its historical context. In the early 19th century, President Thomas Jefferson made one of the most momentous decisions in American history, the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. This vast acquisition of land doubled the size of the United States and set the stage for one of the most ambitious undertakings ever attempted, the exploration of the American West. Jefferson appointed Meriwether Lewis and William Clark to lead an expedition that would chart the Western territories, explore the natural resources of the land, and establish relationships with Native American tribes. This journey, known as the Lewis and Clark Expedition, was nothing short of revolutionary in its scope and impact on the future of the United States. Fast forward to 2004. The U.S. Mint had decided to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition by releasing a series of new coin designs, beginning with a new version of the Jefferson nickel. The first time in more than 60 years that the nickel had been redesigned, it was now intended to honor the expedition and the significance of westward expansion. But what made this coin even more special was its unique connection to both the past and the present. The 2004 Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver, carries a design that is emblematic of American history. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, is a new portrait of Thomas Jefferson. While the image of Jefferson had remained largely unchanged since the introduction of the nickel in 1938, the 2004 redesign brought a fresh interpretation of the third president. The new portrait, created by engraver Joe Fitzgerald, features Jefferson in a more modern and dynamic way, with finer details and a more lifelike representation. It was meant to reflect the progress of the nation and the evolving legacy of Jefferson himself. The portrait shows Jefferson's profile turned slightly to the left, providing a more dimensional view of his features compared to earlier designs. It's a subtle, but meaningful update that aligns with the spirit of change that characterized the early 21st century. But the real innovation of the 2004 Jefferson nickel lies in its reverse design. For the first time in decades, the reverse side of the coin was completely revamped to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. The new reverse design replaced the familiar image of Monticello, Jefferson's home, with a dramatic portrayal of a keelboat, the very type of boat used by Lewis and Clark during their journey westward. This symbolic boat represents the spirit of adventure, exploration, and discovery that defined the expedition. The keelboat was an essential part of the expedition, serving as the primary vessel for transportation along the Missouri River. It was a symbol of the daring spirit of the explorers and a testament to the ingenuity required to survive in the vast, uncharted wilderness. The design on the 2004 Jefferson nickel captures this sense of exploration, with the keelboat rendered in great detail, cutting through the water as it symbolizes the expedition's journey into the unknown. But the story doesn't end there. The 2004 Jefferson nickel was issued as part of a 2-year series that would commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. In fact, the 2004 coin was only the beginning of a broader effort by the U.S. Mint to release a series of coins that would showcase different aspects of the journey. The second reverse design, issued later in the year, depicted the iconic image of Lewis and Clark standing together, surveying the land they had just explored. But it was the first design, featuring the keelboat, that would capture the attention of collectors. Now, let's talk about why the 2004 Jefferson nickel is so valuable to collectors today. When it comes to coin collecting, rarity and condition are two of the most important factors that determine a coin's value. Although the 2004 Jefferson nickel was minted in large quantities, a limited number of them remain in pristine, uncirculated condition. This makes coins like the 2004 Jefferson nickel highly sought after by collectors, especially those who specialize in modern coins or who are interested in the specific era of the Lewis and Clark commemoration. The value of a 2004 Jefferson nickel can vary greatly depending on its condition. A well-worn, circulated coin might be worth only a few cents above its face value. However, an uncirculated coin, one that has been kept in perfect condition, without any wear or damage, can be worth significantly more. In numismatics, coins in uncirculated or near-mint condition are considered much more desirable. When looking at the 2004 Jefferson nickel, collectors often look for coins with sharp, crisp details and minimal signs of wear on the obverse and reverse. The higher the quality of the coin, the higher its value on the market. In addition to condition, the coin's rarity also plays a role in its value. While most 2004 Jefferson nickels are relatively common, some versions are rarer than others. For example, coins from the Denver Mint, marked with a D mint mark, are more plentiful than those minted in Philadelphia or San Francisco. However, there are still specific features that can make certain 2004 D coins more valuable. Proof coins, minted for collectors rather than for circulation, are among the rarest versions of the 2004 D Jefferson nickel. These coins are struck using special dies and have a shiny, mirror-like finish that makes them stand out from regular circulation coins. Proof coins are typically sold in sets and are carefully handled to ensure their pristine condition. As a result, they are often much rarer and more valuable than regular circulation coins. Additionally, errors in the minting process can also add value to a coin. For example, some 2004 D Jefferson nickels were struck with an off-center design, while others may have featured double die errors or other variations. These error coins are prized by collectors for their uniqueness, and they can command significantly higher prices on the market. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part: the value of the 2004 D Jefferson nickel. While most of these coins are worth only their face value of 5 cents, certain versions, especially those in uncirculated condition or those with rare errors, can be worth much more. A high-grade, uncirculated 2004 D Jefferson nickel can fetch hundreds of dollars in a reputable auction or marketplace. But the most impressive part comes when you realize that certain rare, well-preserved examples have sold for as much as $53,800. You might be wondering, how can a 5-cent coin be worth so much? The answer lies in the combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Coins like the 2004 D Jefferson nickel, particularly those that were carefully preserved or struck with unique features, can become valuable collector's items over time. As interest in these coins continues to grow, their value has the potential to increase even further. So, how do you know if you have a valuable 2004 D Jefferson nickel? The first step is to carefully examine the coin's condition. If it has been kept in uncirculated condition, with no signs of wear or damage, it may already be worth more than its face value. Pay close attention to the details of the design, especially the sharpness of the portrait of Jefferson and the keelboat on the reverse. If you see any signs of wear, it could indicate that the coin is in lower condition and worth less. Next, check for any mint errors or unusual characteristics. Look for double strikes, off-center strikes, or any other variations that could make your coin unique. Coins with errors, particularly those that are rare or unusual, are often the most valuable. If you believe you have an error coin, it's worth getting it professionally graded and appraised to determine its potential value. In conclusion, the 2004 D Jefferson nickel is far more than just a simple coin. It's a piece of American history, a tribute to one of the country's greatest explorers, and a highly sought-after collector's item. Whether it's the unique design, the historical context, or the rarity of certain minting errors, the 2004 D Jefferson nickel holds a special place in the world of numismatics. And for those lucky enough to possess a rare or well-preserved example, it may just be worth a small fortune. Keep your eyes open for that nickel. You never know when a seemingly ordinary coin might hold the key to an extraordinary discovery. Top 5. We're diving into a coin that might just change the way you look at 5 cents. The 2005 Jefferson nickel, at first glance, a simple nickel, But when you start to peel back its layers, you realize it's far more than that. This coin, a product of American ingenuity and history, is a must-know for any serious coin collector or history buff. Before we talk about the coin itself, let's set the stage with the historical context. The year 2005 was a significant one in the United States. The country was in the midst of the early years of the 21st century, with political shifts, economic changes, and cultural evolution happening at breakneck speed. Yet, as fast as the world was changing, the U.S. Mint was looking back to the country's past. The early 2000s saw a revival of the U.S. Mint's commitment to reflecting American history in its coin designs, and the 2005 Jefferson nickel was part of this effort. To understand the importance of the 2005 coin, we need to take a step back and consider the legacy of the Jefferson nickel itself. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel was one of the most iconic coins in American history. The coin featured the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and Monticello, his beloved Virginia estate. It became a staple of everyday life for generations of Americans. But in 2004, as part of the bicentennial celebration of the Lewis and Clark expedition, the U.S. Mint unveiled a new version of the Jefferson nickel, introducing a redesign that would continue into 2005. The 2005 Jefferson nickel continued the Mint series to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. The new design was a celebration of the American frontier, exploration, and westward expansion, an effort to remember the courageous journey that Lewis and Clark undertook in the early 1800s. The 2005 release, however, marked a fresh turn with the introduction of new reverse designs, which brought a special level of excitement to numismatics. Let's talk about the design first. On the obverse side of the 2005 Jefferson nickel, the Mint kept the same depiction of Thomas Jefferson that was first introduced in 1938, albeit with a slight modernization. The portrait, designed by artist Felix Schlag, was now part of a more dynamic tradition. Although the classic image of Jefferson had remained on the nickel for decades, in 2005, the U.S. Mint chose to retain it as a subtle nod to the coin's legacy. Jefferson's dignified profile continues to serve as a symbol of leadership and American ideals. But it's the reverse side where things get especially interesting. In 2005, the U.S. Mint introduced two different reverse designs, each celebrating a unique aspect of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The first design features a striking image of the keelboat, the vessel used by Lewis and Clark to traverse the Missouri River during their journey to the west. This design was a tribute to the adventure, resilience, and sheer grit of the explorers who changed the course of American history. The keelboat is depicted with impressive detail, illustrating its utility as it cut through the waters, carrying both the explorers and the hopes of an entire nation. The second reverse design, released later in 2005, is one of the most iconic in American coinage. It depicts the depiction of the buffalo, an animal intimately tied to the American frontier and the history of the West. This design is a literal and symbolic reflection of the untamed spirit of the country's early years. The bison, featured prominently on the coin, stands as a symbol of the Western expansion and the importance of the landscape that Lewis and Clark explored. The image of the buffalo evokes not only the richness of the American wilderness but also the complexities of the nation's interaction with it. This design was part of the Mint's larger effort to celebrate the history of the West and commemorate one of the most important explorations in American history. But why exactly did the Mint choose these specific designs for the 2005 Jefferson nickel? The answer lies in the Mint's broader vision for the coin. After releasing the two reverse designs, they made it clear that the Jefferson nickel would be part of a series that paid tribute to the American spirit, and specifically the era of Lewis and Clark. These designs weren't just about history. They were about creating a lasting symbol of the journey that shaped the nation. And it's the distinctiveness of these designs that caught the eye of collectors and historians alike. In terms of its minting details, the 2005 Jefferson nickel was produced in large quantities by the U.S. Mint, with three primary locations minting the coins: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The coins produced in Philadelphia and Denver are considered standard circulation coins, whereas the coins from San Francisco were made for collectors and sold in proof sets. The proof sets are often highly prized due to their mirrored finish and sharp, flawless details. These proof coins are usually sold in sets, and because of their exceptional quality, they tend to be worth far more than their face value. As with any coin, the condition plays a key role in determining its value. A well-circulated 2005 Jefferson nickel, even with its striking reverse designs, may only be worth 5 cents. However, a coin in uncirculated or near-perfect condition can fetch significantly more. As collectors know, the key to maximizing value is the preservation of the coin's details, ensuring that the designs are crisp, the finish is smooth, and no significant wear or damage is present. For serious collectors, any signs of wear or scratching diminish the value of the coin, while perfect examples can command higher premiums. And that brings us to one of the most exciting parts of this story: the value of the 2005 Jefferson nickel today. While most of the coins in circulation are worth their nominal value, certain editions of the 2005 Jefferson nickel have seen their value rise dramatically. Coins with special features, such as those from limited mintage years, high-grade uncirculated coins, or certain errors, can fetch impressive sums on the market. The most remarkable part of the story is that some of these coins, especially well-preserved versions or coins with minting errors, have sold for prices that far exceed what one might expect from a 5-cent piece. In fact, a highly graded, pristine 2005 Jefferson nickel, particularly those with proof-like finishes or rare minting errors, has been known to fetch as much as $39,800. Now, you might be asking, how can a 5-cent coin be worth $39,800? It all boils down to rarity, condition, and demand. The 2005 Jefferson nickel, though minted in large quantities, is a prime example of a coin where collectors seek the best of the best. Proof coins, coins with significant minting errors, or even special varieties that are hard to find, can drastically increase a coin's value. When a coin is in uncirculated condition, or if there's a rare error, for example, a double strike or off-center strike, collectors are eager to get their hands on it, and that can drive up the price. Error coins are especially prized, as collectors love the unique characteristics they possess. If you have a 2005 Jefferson nickel with an unusual minting flaw, whether it's an off-center strike, a double die, or any other type of error, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Errors can push a coin's price to extraordinary heights, as they are often considered one-of-a-kind pieces that can't be replicated. For anyone lucky enough to stumble upon a 2005 Jefferson nickel in their pocket change that is in perfect condition, or better yet, with a rare error or proof-like quality, the coin could be worth far more than you might imagine. In fact, such coins have been sold for as much as $39,800, depending on their rarity and the level of demand from collectors. The beauty of numismatics is that what may seem like a small, everyday coin can turn into a major investment for the savvy collector. So, what should you do if you find a 2005 Jefferson nickel? The first step is to carefully examine the coin. Look for any signs of wear or damage, as these will impact its value. If the coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you suspect it has a rare minting error, the next step is to have it professionally graded. The grade will give you an idea of its condition and market value. From there, you can decide whether to sell it, add it to your collection, or simply hold on to it as an investment for the future. In conclusion, the 2005 Jefferson nickel might seem like an ordinary coin, but it holds incredible potential. With its connection to American history, beautiful design, and the potential for significant collector appeal, it's a coin that has earned its place in the hearts of numismatists. And for those who are lucky enough to own a rare version in pristine condition, the rewards can be extraordinary. Whether you're just starting out in coin collecting or are a seasoned collector looking for your next treasure, the 2005 Jefferson nickel is a coin you won't want to overlook. So, keep your eyes peeled, because in the world of coin collecting, you never know when a nickel could be worth a small fortune. The 2005 Jefferson nickel, with its exciting designs and historical significance, is a perfect example of why No.